James?
Yes, what do you want?
Can you see us?
Yes. Yeah, very funny.
To warm up a bit, Hammond suggested we try some of his onboard sports equipment.
No.
The other thing that Hammond has done is that he's fixed the seat in his drive. Ow!
With our test drives over, it was time for the challenges to begin.
Not all limo drivers are drug dealers. Not all limos are used for hen nights. Some have to be used for transporting political figures who may be attacked at any time. Your cars then should be nimble and fast enough to get out of tricky spots.
Well, that's you in trouble, then, isn't it?
For the first challenge, you arrive at a roadblock. The other two presenters are there armed with paintball guns. How many hits can they score before you've done a J-turn and got away? Is it a convertible?
Oh, no, I haven't thought of that.
I was first to drive into the jaws of death.
Oh no, a pathetic roadblock.
Now a J-turn. You reverse at high speed, brake, spin the wheel, and as the front slews round, you slam it into first and roar away. I must be honest,
Oh, wait, no, this...
the Panda wasn't much good.
It's actually quite tiring, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just on the trigger finger.
I may be getting shot a few times now. Ah,
Yeah, quite a lot.
Yeah, you may
I
have...
mean, you could get more paint on it if you use the brush.
With my Panda having set the bar pretty low, the convertible went next.
Hope you don't mind the bars, but there is no roof. Hope we don't meet any terrorists. Oh no! Terrorists!
do your J-turn now.
The speed was good, the protection not so good.
Oh, I got shot in the head. Well, I got one there and one there.
Did it hurt?
Yes, like a, you know.
Like a word you can't...
Like a paintball in the head, yeah.
Unfortunately, I suspect
I think I've beaten you.
you have beaten me. Right, James,
Good luck.
good luck.
Instead of doing the tricky J-turn, I planned to get into the alpha end and reverse away forwards. But that idea did have a flaw. In fact, it had two flaws.
Ah, the wheel. Oh, look.
I don't know, you aimed at my gentleman's area. That was chuffing agony.
There is far more on you than on your car.
Yeah, well, so in that case,
No.
I've won.
No.
No, hang on, the
In
rules
every
said...
situation, and you'd be thinking, never mind, at
The
least my
rules-
car's not got paint on it.
The rules said hits on the car, not hits on the wedding vegetables.
It was time for the next challenge.
I just hope that that was the end of the evasive driving stuff.
Evasive driving, part 2. It's a test of nippiness against the clock. You break out from a terrorist trap, slalom down the runway between strategically placed cars belonging to members of the public, which you may not hit, steer around the stinger at the hammerhead and pull up once you're out of range of the water cannon.
The what?
With manoeuvrability being the key to every aspect of this challenge, James was feeling confident.
What's this?
Oh,
hang on.
Further
no, it's
help.
still unlocked now. How is he going to do a slalom?
It's not going to help at all.
Hammerhead.
The water cannon kicked in to make missing the stinger even harder.
Easy victory.
Well, maybe not. My sports limo was like a greyhound out of the trap.
Wheel spin and everything!
Well, that looks quite good.
I can't really see Kofi Annan ever having got into it in the first place.
It's the Stinger next. No, hang on, it's the water thing first. Convertible. As it turns out, not the best idea.
The Panda broke out with ease.
Yeah! Rock and roll.
How's he going to do the slalom?
This is going to be
that long.
Looking good.
He's going to have to take the world's most enormous route.
Oh, for crying out loud. Oh no, I'm not going to make it.
No, that is such a poor idea.
Oh no.
Oh, there's some smoke coming out of it.
Oh, doesn't that break your heart?
Yeah. Yeah, the clock's still running.
My limo had become bogged down, but the film crew kindly pushed me out, and I was on my way again.
No, you can squirt it as much as you like.
Sadly, I hit the Stinger, which punctured the tyres, and then worse, my engine died.
Now, here on Top Gear, as you know, we like a bit of a challenge. We've made amphibious cars, we've made a convertible people carrier, but now it's time to see if we can conquer the final frontier. Space.
No.
Hank, well, what do you mean, no?
No.
Now, you see, we wanted to find out if you could make a car into a spaceship.
Yes, and I thought this was the single stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life and refused to have any part in it.
Ah, you see, but you had underestimated the genius of our space-based plan.
One of the problems with space rockets is that they're jolly expensive. The superpowers spend billions trying to get their hardware up amongst the stars. But we thought you could do it for a lot less cash if you based your space rocket on a car. That meant getting hold of the most rocket-shaped car we could think of.
Yes, it's been around for 30 years, and for 29 of those years, it's been a complete joke. Now though, we're going to see if the Reliant Robin has the makings of a spaceship.
It's light, it's cheap, and it tapers to a point, like a rocket, so we're already heading in the right direction.
But we're not just going to strap rockets to it, set it off and wave it goodbye, because we're going to see if we can turn it into the most difficult of all spacecraft, the one that has to take off and be used again, a space shuttle. If you're 8, you're probably going to want to see what happens next.
Our first job had been to put a call in to the Rocketeers. These were the men who'd helped to send a Mini down a ski jump for the Top Gear Winter Olympics.
2, 1, initiate.
James and I convened a meeting at their headquarters just outside the Derbyshire town of Glossop.
It's not exactly the Kennedy Space Center, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
Inside, we'd assembled a motley crew of boffins.
Right, gentlemen, what we want from you is the most difficult type of space rocket, a space shuttle. This has to work properly. It has to have the big fuel tank, it has to have the booster rockets, they all have to separate, and most importantly, we have to be able to bring it back down under control to a landing.
And it's worth saying as well that nobody's going to go in this,
Yeah.
but it has to be landed.
Yeah, the idea of this is that we will send it up to a few thousand feet. What we're doing is testing the principle. If you can make all this work and we can bring it into this controlled landing, we will probably get funding from the EU for a proper space mission.
So you want to launch it, jettison the SRBs,
Jettison the SRBs,
jettison the orbiter, and fly it down.
What's the orbiter?
the Reliant.
Right.
Have you got a spare $1 billion then?
No, you see, that's why we've come to you, because you're from Manchester and you'll be able to do it for 10 and 6.
And there'll be as much tea as you can drink while
Yep.
you're doing it.
Chips in lard, everything, anything you want. The rocket men did some calculations on the back of a laptop.
How do we make this bloody thing work?
Well, we've got the Robin. They're giving us the Robin now. That's a starting point.
Whoopee. We've got a Robin.
An hour later,